Hello, my name's Julie, and in this video I'm going to be talking about parents and children seeking sanctuary working in partnership with schools. This video is part of a series of videos for the Improving Teaching to Improve Refugee Education project. So thinking about first impressions as a newly arrived family comes to a school, a face-to-face in-person meeting is the best possible scenario, and consideration should be given as to where this meeting takes place. Is it somewhere where parents feel comfortable? Could it be somewhere maybe off-site if parents are nervous about coming into school? So maybe in the family home if the school policy allows for that. It might be that a translator will be needed to support the meeting. An important thing to keep in mind when using a translator is that parents should be addressed directly. So in a conversation where a question is being asked of a parent, that person is faced and addressed directly and looked at, and then the translator will then translate what's being asked or said. So that enables the person being spoken to feel valued. The other thing to keep in mind is the pronunciation of people's names. They might be names that are unfamiliar, in which case as a small preparation before the meeting, it could be worth just having a little look online to see if there's a pronunciation guidance, or in the meeting ask and make a note of how the name is pronounced, some way that you might remember. So addressing all questions and concerns that parents might have is an important part of this meeting. Their child may not have been in school already, or they might have had a very different educational experience. And the culture and the policies and the practices of the school might feel very, very different in this new school environment. So it's worth finding out if the child has any medical needs or perhaps has an impairment. If they have been in school, did they have any additional support for any needs at all in their previous school? Then thinking about dietary needs or religious observances. So for example, does the child require halal food or kosher food? The educational environment could be very, very different in terms of what actually happens in school. Things like lunch times, break times, that might be very different too. There could be people in the educational setting that are employed to support children with things like their emotional well-being or learning the language of the host school. If so, it's be great if that person could be at the meeting, but if not, definitely being able to provide a name and signpost parents towards that person is a really helpful thing to do. There was some research undertaken in Norway by Bergseth and Olvik in 2021, and they interviewed parents, mothers and fathers from 16 different families from Somalia, Afghanistan and Syria. And in the interviews, one of the themes that came out were the very different expectations around what these parents, they called it parenting in exile, but what the parents expected in terms of school discipline. One of the participants in the research talked about how corporal punishment had been used in a school in the home country, and it clearly doesn't happen in England, so that sort of thing might need to be explained. Children might have worn a uniform before when they were in school, but they might not have had to. So expectations around what children might be wearing in school and how that uniform might be adapted to be culturally acceptable is really important too. The groupings that happen in school could be a little bit different too. So different schools organise things differently, but There could be mixed gender groupings that, again, the child might not be used to. But the important thing about this meeting is opening up a dialogue so that parents and families feel that they can approach the school and ask questions. They might not have been used to coming into school or having anything to do with teachers before, but having that open door to be able to come in and just ask about anything can be a very reassuring and welcoming part of arrival in a new country.